Welcome back to MysteryHQ. In this video I'm going to show you how to beat Dravakar, Totenreich's Easter egg boss in Black Ops 7 Zombies, and do it solo with a strategy that's actually manageable. If this video helps you out, make sure to drop a like and let me know in the comments. Alright, so the most important question is, what weapon should you be using? Now you will see a lot of people recommending the Novaline, and after testing it in Cursed, it's absolutely a great choice and up there in my recommendations. It has a great range, good damage and overall a safe option for the boss fight. Here's the build with the build code I would recommend running if you wanna try it out. But for this video, I actually tested two other weapons as well, and you will see gameplay with those, while I'll explain the fight and show strategies for both standard and cursed mode. Those weapons are the MP40 and the VST SMG with Akimbo. Using both the MP40 and the Novaline in the boss fight, the fight takes around 15 minutes or a bit more. While with the VST, if you use the right build and the right augments, the fight only took me less than 10 minutes. So yeah, personally I think the VST is the meta option for this fight. Here's my build for it with the best damage, least recoil and of course the build code. But it comes with a catch. You need to play very aggressively to actually get that value out of it. If you are not comfortable with that, then the Novaline is a much safer alternative with still really good damage, and again it's easier to get compared to something like the MP40. Speaking of that, the MP40 is very good in standard, since it's basically the only ultra rarity weapon there. But in Curse, since you can get ultra rarity weapons in tier 2 or higher, it falls a bit behind. Still solid, just not really good anymore. So it really comes down to your playstyle. The VST for speed and aggressive play, Novaline for safety and consistency, and the MP40 if you are lucky enough to get it out from the box. Once you've decided on your weapon, let's go over the rest of your loadout. Make sure you are running decoys. Later on you can switch to Casimirs if you want, but honestly I never did it. Decoys works just fine during this fight. For your field upgrade, you should use Frenzied Guard, and this is absolutely the best choice for solo players. For augments, run exactly what you are seeing on the screen. And since we are already talking about augments, let's quickly go over the very important ones. For quick revive, I recommend Dying Wish over Equivalent Exchange. The reason is very simple. With Equivalent Exchange, if you go down during the fight, there might not even be any zombies nearby to help you get up. I mean, yes, you could damage the boss to get back up, but that would mean you need extra setup to get a pack-a-punched pistol or a ray gun, and that's just extra time. So looking at Juggernog, you should go with Probiotic instead of Turtle Shell. The extra health is just way more valuable in this fight, along with hardened and durable plates. For Speed Cola, use augments that give you a chance to not consume ammo while reloading, and that's really useful against a boss that's basically a bullet sponge. For Double Tap, these augments are huge. You can deal double damage on every other shot, and increasing fire rate means way more DPS. For that shot, go for increased critical damage and reduce hipfire spread, which is especially important if you are running the Akimbo VST. Then use these augments on Melee Macchiato to boost the Jotun Star Wonder Weapon. And finally, taking a look at Mule Kick, these augments should be helpful to get extra ammo, armor and equipment. Before you even enter the boss fight, make sure you are fully prepared. Obviously you want all your perks and the highest rarity armor available, but also make sure you have at least a pack-a-punched Jotun Star Wonder Weapon. We are mainly using it to kill zombies, so you can focus on the boss with your main weapon. The higher the round you are on, the more you should upgrade it so it can still kill zombies effectively during the fight. And you should also buy a War Machine score spray. For your gobblegums, I recommend Power Keg, so you can use Frenzied Guard if needed, a max ammo, and either Shields Up or Aftertaste. Alright, let's get into the boss fight itself. The fight consists of 3 main phases, with smaller in-between phases where the boss becomes immune. In both Standard and Cursed, the first phase is exactly the same. Dravakar and Tyr will fight each other, and 3 times Tyr will damage Dravakar, exposing 1 or 2 red weak spots on his body. Your job is to shoot these spots and deal enough damage so the fight can progress. This is basically a DPS check, And as you can see, the VST handles this really well. Now let's take a look at the MP40, and as you can see, that also does a solid job even in Cursed. If you pass the DPS check, Tyr will either bomb the area to clear the zombies or drop some loot for you. If you fail the DPS check, Dravakar will freeze part of the arena and you will see this red light under your foot, and that means you have to move or you will go down instantly. After that, you will need to survive against frost zombies until Tyr returns. But after the third DPS check, Tyr gets knocked out of the fight and phase 2 begins. Now you enter one of those in between phases. Zombies will spawn and somewhere in the arena, middle, left or right, you will see a floating ice head. So here's how to deal with it and skip this phase. You should throw a decoy or Casimir to distract the zombies, then pull out your war machine, and from a distance you should shoot explosives into the head's open mouth. That's exactly why we need the war machine, as it makes this step very easy. Once the head drops to the ground, you have to run up to it and finish it off with your weapon. Now you can do this in one go with the VST, but with other weapons like the MP40, Novaline, especially in Cursed, it's safer to keep your distance. If the head gets up, it spawns ice spikes from the ground, so staying back is the safer play. In Standard, for the first time when you are in this in-between phase, there's only one head, and in later phases there are two, while in Cursed there are always two heads. Once that's done, Dravakar comes back and freezes 1/3 of the arena. No zombies will spawn here, you just have to focus on him. If you want to stay in the middle like I did with the VST, here's the trick. He always freezes the part you are standing in. So for example, I ran to the right side to force that section to freeze, then move back to the middle or to the left to deal the damage safely. Just keep in mind, once one section unfreezes, he can freeze another. Your goal here is very simple, like I said, you have to shoot the red weak spots as much as possible. From this phase onward, he will also start launching ice projectiles in different patterns. You can dodge them, go prone so they pass over you, or play it safe and hide behind pillars, peeking out to shoot. There are pillars on both the right and the left side, and if you stay behind them, the projectiles can't hit you. So this is the safe play with the Novaline or the MP40. Personally, in Standard with the VST, I stayed in the middle and dodged everything to maximize my damage. Also, if the middle gets frozen, but you still want to stay there, you can activate the trap. It prevents freezing and gives you a damage boost. Also, don't forget to use your lantern, cause if it's charged, it acts as a heat source, so you can use it to safely move through frozen parts, even to grab ammo or just to prevent freeze damage while staying there to shoot the boss. Okay, so once Dravakar becomes immune again, you need to repeat the ice head phase. Same strategy as before, use the war machine on the head, then finish them off with your main weapon. After that, Dravakar returns and now freezes 2/3 of the arena. Again, you can control which sections freeze by where you stand. Once only one section is left playable, you just repeat the same strategy, either hide behind pillars or dodge projectiles in the open. If things get very intense, you should pop a frenzied guard to restore your armor. At this point you can either deal enough damage to instantly trigger the final phase, and you will know that happened because the crit spot becomes his head, or you will have to complete one last ice head phase. In my case, I went straight into the final phase. And here's some bad news if you've been relying on the pillars. They are gone. You will be forced into the open center of the arena, all exits blocked, and you have to constantly dodge and outmaneuver incoming ice projectiles while shooting Dravakar's head. What I did was keep moving side to side non-stop and going prone. In Standard, especially with the VST, this phase isn't too bad and it took me less than a minute to finish. But in Cursed, well, it's a completely different story. Zombies spawn here too, so now you are dodging projectiles and dealing with enemies at the same time. The play here is to have a max ammo and a power keg bubblegum ready, so you can get back your armor and throw Casimirs to deal with the zombies. So yes, in Cursed I recommend running Casimirs. But still this part requires insanely precise movement and timing to survive. But if you go down, There's one last saving mechanic, both in standard and cursed. If you go down here you can use Kalteri's blessing. If you interact with it while downed, it revives you and gives you one final chance to finish the fight. And you will know you've won when Tyr gets back up, hits Dravakar from behind, and that's when the fight ends. And that's also where my video ends. If this guide was helpful to you, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching for the very end, and hope I will see you in my next video.